whenever we are actually logging into team, most of the times you will have this view. So this is the view that you are basically going to have, and we can actually create different teams here. If you are like confused like how to exactly create it, sometimes you will be in a room. Let's say for example I'm in this particular room and I want to go to this particular view, that can also be done. If I want to go to this create team option, and once I enter or log into Microsoft Teams, and if I have this particular screen, what I can do is I can go to all teams here. So once I click all teams, I can actually create a new team here, join or create a team. So for our purpose, we basically have to make teams from our individual IDs. Like for example, me. Can you hear me now? Hello? Huh, sir? Abhi? Okay. Okay. So what happens is basically if you're coming here, you have this join or create team option. For our purpose of conducting the exam, suppose me and Deepraj are conducting an exam for, let's say, the CS department, computer science. So what you can do is me and Deepraj can be doing this. So we can actually go here, create a team, and we'll basically just create a team. So once we do this creation of team, you have 4 options here: class, professional learning, staff, and other. This meeting is under staff, but we are going to create a class now. So let me just create this class because this is needed for all of us. So we'll create a class. Once I go and create class, I can write down the class name. So let's say I'm writing down here computer science, Viva. So suppose Viva first year. So if I do that, I can put a description there, optional, and then I can go for next. So once I go for next, it basically creates a team. And after this team is created, I can actually add the members. So we have students here and we have teachers here. So suppose teachers, it's me and Deepraj. I have created the team, so it is already added. So I'll add Deepraj once. So in order to add, it's very simple. If I just type the first few words, the name automatically gets displayed. So if I just type DIP, it should come. So you see it will be written faculty. There are 3 categories here: faculty, scholar, and student. If I type Riazul, it shows scholar. If I type Deepraj, it shows faculty. So I'll just click here and then do the add. So once I add, I basically have added Deepraj as a faculty. Now if I want to add students, I can go here. I can go to students and then I can add. So if I basically add a student, like let's say, if I want to add Riaju, okay. So I can just type, if I type half the name, some of the words it shows and say this is, and if I basically want to type the name of a student, let's say KON, okay, there is one student there, yeah. So this student, if I add, I can add this student this particular class. So right now I'm not adding because once you add, they get an email. So I'm not adding that. So this is done. So once I add, so what we can do is we can actually have around, let's say, 30 students from the CS department, and then we can actually add all those 30 students and basically close. So once we close this, we actually will have a team which is getting created. So we have this team. So see, this team is created. Yeah, we can remove. Yeah, we can do that. So we can do that. So let me just go back to this again. So once we have this all teams, so once we have created all teams, we have this. So if I want to delete or remove a student, we can do it from here. We can actually click here and then I have the option of manage team. Okay, we can do it from here. This is one option. Else, it's better to always go inside and do it, because once we click on that particular team, we are working only on that team. So there is no confusion. So it's always better to do it from here. So whatever is the update will be posted here. And if I want to remove a student or add a student, I can actually go here. So I can click here on more options and then I will actually have the option manage team. So once I go for manage teams, I can actually have the option deleting also. Okay, so this tab is a bit slow. So this Microsoft team actually helps us with all the options we actually have, whatever update we do basically gets updated on this post section. It is something like what is Facebook post, something similar. What is updated is done here. So I have this, and I have Deepraj as faculty, and he is also the owner. There should be at least one owner. So I can go here, and then I can convert Deepraj to a member. Suppose mistakenly I have added him as an owner, so I can do that. And then he is added in here, and then I can go here and then do this. Click here. Okay, I think the screen is this. So I can keep on changing. I want to delete. I can just click here. Okay. So move Deepraj Saikia, so I can just click here, and then that person more or less gets deleted. It will take some time and it gets deleted. So this is simple. So if I added someone by mistake, I can actually remove. If I want to add now again, and I can go for add option, and I keep on adding. So it's not that I have to add it at a time. I can add later also. Doesn't matter. It's very simple. So I think this part is clear. And next part is like how exactly we actually work on this. So we can actually go back to the section here. Okay, we can go to general. We can click general. When we click general, it actually comes back to post. Now suppose I want to inform the students that you actually will have a Viva exam from this date to this date. Whatever post I created, the student actually gets an email. If I want to mention a specific student, I can just type @ and name of the student. That student receives the email, and so on is there. I can upload class material, but I think this is irrelevant now. Let's create a meeting now. Let's create a scheduled meeting. So once we go for creating a scheduled meeting, we can actually click here on more options. We click this and we go for scheduled meeting. So suppose I have an exam on, let's say 30th, and I have the Viva. Okay, I'll type Viva for CS. I put the roll number and all, whatever detail I want to put. And suppose someone is not added in the classroom, but I want to add. Suppose I want to add Bora sir so that he can monitor this. You can actually go for this add attendees. So I can just type in, and then that person might be added only for that particular meeting. But anyway, I think that is not required. So what we will do is now we'll schedule exam 30th. So we'll put it on 30. And then let's say it's 11, no problem. And then we can actually keep it all day long. Okay, so we can actually keep, let's say, around so we can take it till 5 p.m. So 5 p.m. means we are keeping it for 6 hours on the same day, and then we can keep it all day, or we don't keep it all day, doesn't matter. If we keep it all day, it's one day. The meeting starts whenever I start. The student knows it, but it's better to keep it on the scheduled time. So we'll just keep it this. Until and unless we end the meeting doesn't end, even if it's crossed 5 p.m. So it's not that if I set it at 5, I have to finish at 5. That's not mandatory. Okay, that is okay. Do not repeat. I'm not going to repeat it, just a one-time thing. So I'll do it this way. This is okay. As the location not important. Here I can put instruction for the students that you have to be present, and so on, and then in the lobby and also. So you should be present and so on. I can put everything. So whatever. Okay. We won't use Facebook language. I'll put YOUN anyway. So we'll do this, and then we can actually do send. Once we do the send option, the meeting information is actually emailed to all the students. They actually receive the mail, and this at the same time is also posted here. So see, this is posted here. The instruction is posted here. This is there, and the date and everything is mentioned. So I have the meeting scheduled. Now there are some additional things that needs to be done so that the students cannot enter at their own will. So for this, it has to be done. So what we do is we can actually go here to the 3 dots and then go for view meeting details. And once we go for view meeting details, we actually have to change some things, some settings. So if we go here, this meeting is already there. If you want to change something, you want to add more content, we can do that. Change the schedule, that is also possible. But we will go for meeting options now. This meeting option doesn't come until and unless we schedule a meeting. So I'll go for meeting options. And then when you go for meeting option, it opens in the browser. This is very important for us now because we are actually conducting an exam. So for conducting an exam, we have to check to this setting. So what happens is when we go for this, we are going to log into team. Mine is already logged in, so I don't need to put my password and username. But in case you are not logged in your browser, it will ask for your username. Put the email ID of the institute and then the password. and then it will basically show you a page with the options. So my net is a bit slow, so let it just load. Okay, so once it loads, actually I'll have all the options of changes. There are not too many options, there are only 4 options to change. I'll just check that and tell you exactly what we need to change. Okay, so actually what happens is I'm using this Team, and Team is actually a very heavy software. So if you're using Team, it uses a lot of internet, a lot of so it will take some space. So what happens is you basically have 4 options here. See, all the meeting details are here, so we cross check and verify that okay, this is the meeting that I'm changing the settings for. Who can bypass the lobby? So this is like people in my organization. So that means whoever has an email ID of @nitnagaland.ac.in, they can actually come in. But I don't want that. I will just put only me or the owner. Only me. So that means no one can bypass the lobby. So basically when we say nitnagaland.ac.in, it is like the college gate. So someone can enter the gate only if that person has the identity card. So that identity card is there, and I am sitting at the gate, and I will allow him yes or no depending on when he comes. So basically when he comes, he will be there in the waiting room, and if I allow, he can enter. That's there. So we can tell the students to be there present at 11 a.m. And then once everyone is there, we can actually make the entry by one depending on the roll number, because their roll number will also be displayed. Okay, so then always let callers bypass the lobby. We can keep this as no, we won't allow them to bypass. Announce when callers join or leave. This can be kept as yes or no, doesn't matter, because it's up everything to us. And who can present, this is very important. I don't want the students to present because they might fail around, so I'll just put it as only me. Just put it as only me, and this is also only me, and then I can save. Practically I have not yet tried this, but I hope it works, because for my classes what I do is I just put it as people in my organization, because the student wants to join before, fine, they can join. They come somewhere in the middle of the class, they can join, I allow them, because the thing is every time if I keep on allowing them from the lobby, then it disturbs my class, so I usually don't do that, but here we will do it because this is important. So once this is done, actually what we can do is we can minimize this, or we can actually close this, and this setup is done now. So then we can actually close this. So this setting is done and our meeting is ready. The student receives an email. We can actually form a WhatsApp group to inform them separately, but I guess it's better to tell them that you should keep on checking your email. But I think since we're doing it only for one time, so I prefer informing them on WhatsApp, so that it's like sure, you can miss it and they will miss the exam. So this is what is there all about, like for this examination purpose, that is important.